So the Arcadia project is a festival that's going to be looking at how young people respond to the climate crisis. So it's a bit of a cultural celebration and a bit of an opportunity for young people to take the foreground of what this means to the community of Croydon.
A key objective for Arcadia is to take young people on a cultural learning pathway. So they're making their own creative works.
Within the Arcadia project, there's 5 shows that have been developed or produced. Within that, I'm with Boundless, and that is tag teamed with Produced Moon. With this one specifically, the young people are involved in the R&D process. Mel and Leo are from Produced Moon, and they're doing the creative workshops with the young people, and they're giving them stimuluses and ideas, and from what they're creating over the next 3 days is then going to be used as a stimulus to create the show.
Saito are a youth-based company based here in Croydon. They work with lots and lots of young people, and 2 groups specifically are working on Arcadia. And for Arcadia, they are making 4 performances spanning across the seasons that explore different voices within the climate crisis.
With Bird Gang, we're doing dance performance. It's based on the 4 elements. So we're looking at how the relationships between the elements come together, either harmoniously or the conflicts between them. Things such as like water nourishing earth. And the kids are particularly looking at how they can embody that.
The CYA is contributing like the visual aspects of it, so we're really much focusing on what it's going to look like and how we're going to really engage people that are coming and really promote it and see like, hey, come to this thing and really learn about what the young people of the area of the place you're living are doing.
It's more of like an interactive performance to help inspire other people, like members of the public, to take action towards climate.
And we've engaged a local artistic organisation, Fables, to create something that we can put in the space used for Arcadia.
Cyrus Consultancies, led by Christopher Cyrus. So the final piece is a film, One Last Breath. It's around 2 siblings. It centres the artists as they've written their own songs for the film. It will be around 15-minute short film, exploring the relationship with the environment and them as people.
I think it's been an opportunity for the 5 creative partners and their young people to find their way in to the climate crisis, to learn about it, but also to really discover what it means for them, how it might impact them personally, politically, or even globally, because many people have families in other countries that really are actually impacted now by climate change.
A lot of young people now are actually interested in making a difference, a positive difference to the world. So I think by having them have their own voice out there, it's really gonna empower them to keep going with the work that they're doing, speak to the older generation as well, and kind of cross over and learn from each other.
There is always planned to have young producers attached to each creative partner as part of the model of having young people centred in this work and it being led by young people, and it being a training opportunity for young people, whether they are young artists or young producers. So yeah, it's been a huge programme for young people fundamentally. I hope this project's changed their relationship to environmental responsibility.
I think often the creative industries are super fast-paced and you have like really quick turnarounds for projects, and often people end up making like the quickest decision, which might be like ordering from Amazon. But in this case, we can't do that because that would be completely contradictory to the whole message of the piece. So it really is like learning how to be patient and how to like think ahead as a creative, and I feel like I would then bring those skills into any other projects that I use because it's become almost like a natural habit here.
Friday was a day for the local industry, for the cultural sector, as well as local councillors, and I think we had Green Party representatives. We called it a cultural assembly. And an assembly such as that is modelled on people's assemblies, which is modelled on citizens' assemblies, which effectively take a selection of, it could be the demographic of a country or a sector in this case, so the cultural sector, to come together to learn about subject matter, deliberate together, have dialogue, and then to either be given a question to respond to or to formulate questions for themselves, to discover what's important to them, what they want to discuss, and then to arrive at some ideas, some solutions, some actions, some demands to take forward. That day in particular was really a part of the legacy of the London Borough of Culture, which has been here in Croydon. And that has all been about not only activating the cultural sector in Croydon, But for the long term, thinking about culture's long-term role in the community and its role in terms of creating systemic change.
It was really exciting to see a lot of organizations, a lot of groups coming in to talk about climate action and climate change, especially in the context of Croydon and arts. And that really made it a very special way to engage and understand where the issues were and what we can, as a community, arts community especially, do about it.
We had lots of different discussions on tables, on specific topics, and then we had one big kind of dinner table type discussion to come to 3 different solutions, one simple, one a bit more complex, and one a bit more radical and out there. I really liked the ideas of the cultural sector collaborating with climate organisations to create a project or a vision for the future, storytelling, and how you make the story relatable to individual people in their circumstances.
So the Saturday was themed and given the name of We Are the Forest. So it was a marketplace for local action groups and sustainability groups to come together to showcase to our audiences and our communities all that they could take part in. And it was named We Are the Forest to reflect the idea of the root systems underneath a forest that share nutrients and communicate with each other. So it was deliberately designed to bring as many Croydon-based climate action groups and nature action groups together. So throughout the day we had lots of different free workshops for people to really spend a significant amount of time with different practitioners who are local to South Norwood. So for example, our local gardener here, our standing arts gardener, she did some gardening with people outside and showing people the different plant species that we have here.
So today we've done a bird walk around Croydon, specifically a site called South Norwood Lake and Grounds. We walked around the pond, we did some bird watching, and also looked at some trees and plants as well on the way. And then we got involved with some volunteering. I believe that when we're all young, we all love nature. We just grow out of it. So it's so important to keep that interest in nature in children alive. Make sure children stay interested in nature. They're gonna grow up and be our teachers, our future leaders. So if they're interested in nature, we have good hopes for the future.
So the promenade performance was running every day of the festival, but we really wanted to bring as many people into the building on Saturday as possible. So to give people the opportunity to be here from 10 a.m. to experience the marketplace, to do some workshops and then take part in the young people's promenade performances. So they're also engaging with the climate crisis from an artistic, creative point of view too.
I think it's worth, no matter how many times it's echoed, and you know, the climate crisis is the subject matter of many plays and many youth projects and many school projects and things like this. The arts industry, or the youth arts industry in this case, stepping up and playing their part is another beautiful jigsaw puzzle piece that will sit in a wider network of things that will ultimately end up changing the way that we have this relationship with the earth, right?
Yeah, I think it is really important, and also just within the area, the types of things that go on within the area, it's actually important to keep these kids engaged. It's important to give them something, and it's important to give the audience something also. They also live in the area, so hopefully we can get some more shows like this going within the area, you know?
Obviously, the actual event won't suddenly stop CO2 being pumped into the atmosphere every day, but just having it being part of the consciousness of a community where you go somewhere and you have this very artistic and engaging experience, and it's grounded in the very important fact that we have 6 years to act on climate change, and everyone needs to act in order for us to be able to make an impact.
It was a real provocation to put Arcadia on, and I hope that the conversations and the connections that were formed do seriously continue. I think if Stanley Arts with Arcadia can lead a movement in Croydon, then he'll be doing really well. And it may not be an easy ride, this crisis, but we need to spark the imagination to really create pathways through this. And the young people are, they're inheriting the earth, so we need to be foregrounding their responses. We need to give them the time and space to engage with this.